Привет, друзья! Как дела? Меня зовут Питер, и это мой канал на YouTube, Iowan Point of View. So, back to English. Today's video is going to be all about what I do to teach myself Russian. I'm actually in my basement right now because I've come in contact with someone who has coronavirus. So I will be quarantining down here for the next week or and a half or two, who knows. So I figured I'd use all this free time that I have to make a bunch of videos, all the videos that I wanted to make ever since I came up with this channel. So video number one is what I'm doing to learn Russian. Here we go. So, getting right into it. First, I'll talk about the stuff that I do in the physical world, I guess, and then I'll talk about what I do online. So first, for me, I personally like having a physical dictionary. I know it's absolutely not necessary in this modern world where you have everything online. This just makes it a little bit harder to look up words. I actually have to search for them. I get a good feel of the order of the alphabet. You know, I can read a little bit about a random word like podval, cellar or basement. So yeah, I don't know. That's why I like it. Not necessary. I don't get why it says compact. This is not compact. But anyways, moving on. This is my textbook from when I took Russian in college. I only took 1 semester of Russian in college. So I got this book from that. But it's been super useful to go and review. It's obviously, since it's a textbook, it's got a lot of grammar. It's got a lot of nice juicy things that I like to read about, like word building and comparing quantities and measurements. But yeah, so this is what I use when I have a question about grammar or when I'm just looking to review. Super useful. I've got this book, which I'll talk about in a second, and my notebook. So this is like kind of my language notebook. There's some Portuguese. There's some more Portuguese back here. I don't know, some Arabic. Oh, that's Portuguese, actually. Some Arabic and some Russian, German. That was German. Anyways, here we are. So I have 2 parts to what I do. One is I'll take the verbs that I find to be useful, or ones that I think I should know, and I'll write them there. Nouns, phrases, adjectives, all that good stuff. And you'll notice that some of these words have their English definitions written above them. The goal for me is to review them until I no longer need those, and then I can erase them. And I can kind of figure out what they mean from there. So yeah, this is a super useful thing. I definitely recommend having a notebook with you to write stuff down in. Another thing that you can do is write down sentences, and then I also used to do this, which is just pokazać, to show, and then write it a couple times, just to really get the feel of the alphabet. If you're unfamiliar with Cyrillic script, this is a good thing to do. You can learn vocabulary and practice your writing all at the same time. And then finally, the most important thing that I do off of the internet is read. So reading is really, really, really good for learning new languages. It gives you native or native-like sentences, things that people would actually write, things that are correct. But this one is particularly good because 1, it's for beginners like me, but 2, it's built for English learners. So what I mean by that is they have these stories, these short stories. See, it's only like 2 and a quarter pages. But all of the words that are highlighted, they have English definitions for. They also have a summary in both Russian and English and questions about the story. So you really can test yourself. So what I like to do is I'll read through these stories once through without looking at any of the definitions, just to see what I can get. Then, without looking at the summaries, read it again with the vocabulary. Then go check the summaries, try and see it in Russian, and then check myself in English if what I thought was happening was actually happening, which is good. It's always very satisfying when I read the English summary and think, awesome, that's exactly what I thought was happening here. and then go over and finish the sentences. They're in kind of a weird format. They're not my favorite, but hey, whatever works. But yeah, so this book, super useful. I've been loving it so far. And yeah, that's what I've been doing on the offline portion. Now we'll move to online. So now for the online portion of things that I'm doing. First, I wanted to show this website, and there are others like it. A great resource for doing online learning is to find in-person stuff to do. Online programs. There are also lots of different study abroad options. I'll probably make a video about that. All the different things that you can apply for. The U.S. government has a crap ton of money to give people. There are also lots of different individual programs if you want a U.S. citizen. But yeah, so that's one way that you can do this. One of the main things that I love about the internet is YouTube. YouTube, the medium that I'm putting this video on, is also incredibly useful for not just language learning, lots of different stuff, everybody knows that. One of the great things about YouTube in terms of language learning is the language is spoken. People like me, for people like me, I would much prefer to be able to speak a language really well than just read it. So this is a really great place. This guy specifically, Be Fluent in Russian and Amazing Russian YouTube channels are channels that I really like. For any other language, you can definitely find content and creators that make stuff like this. So this guy, Fyodor, he's really, really cool. He makes very specific and short YouTube videos. If you want to talk about saying school, if you want to talk about saying I got it, these kinds of things that are specific. This guy is super useful. I like to watch his videos all the time. Which one is correct? Vzriat or brat, that kind of stuff. So specific things, but also, and he's not a teacher, but this woman, Amazing Russian, seems to be more on the teaching side. She's got intermediate Russian verbs of motion, verbs of asking. So these are all really cool for specific grammar topics and questions that I have. But what I use her most for is these kinds of videos that she makes. Intermediate Russian listening practice. Really important here. I love this video. She just walks around a library and describes what she sees, what's going on, what places are used for in Russian. They've got more over here on the shores of the White Sea, listening comprehension. This is where YouTube can shine. It can take you to Russia, it can take you to a native speaker, without you ever having to meet anyone or go anywhere. And you can listen to fluent, correct Russian speech, which is really, really important in getting not only accents, but correct language pattern, correct sentence patterns. The book might say one thing, but in reality, native speakers use it a different way. So yeah, this is super, super useful. And then the final thing that I like to do is I like to get in touch with people that I know on Instagram, on social media, WhatsApp, that speak these languages. So this is one of my friends that I met in Portugal, actually. But I got in touch with her, and we started messaging back and forth in Russian. And one time, I sent her this big, long paragraph. Well, long for me. I don't speak a lot. In Russian, and I knew she kind of spoke English. So I said, if I write something wrong, please correct me. And she sent me back the same paragraph that I was trying to write, but correctly. This was super useful. Good job, So if you can find someone that also speaks your native language as well as Russian or as well as another language, and have them mostly use the target language, but if you have to fall back on English to make sure that you're getting something, that's absolutely something that you can do. And finally, then you can move on to WhatsApp, whatever you got to do to make it work. So finally, what I like to end with is a little bit of fun. I'll go on Spotify. I like this playlist a lot, Russian rap, and I'll listen to some music. Normally, I'll also look up the lyrics. Listen to it once or twice without the English, then look up an English translation, and just finish on just kind of a fun note. So now that I've shown you the things that I do, I'll break it down in terms of a schedule. First, these generally take about an hour, sometimes more, sometimes less. It's not a huge deal, the time, just as long as I do it every single day. That's the important part. Then, the first part, I will read the story from the book, like I showed you guys, twice, once without the vocab translations and once with. I'll also have my dictionary and my notebook so I can jot down useful vocabulary and stuff like that. And generally that takes around 25 minutes. Reading it again takes a while, you know. I don't know. It doesn't seem like it should take that long, but I'm trying to go slow and really read carefully. Next, I'll normally watch a video on grammar, specific grammar topic. Kind of depends on the day. What I have done is to follow a loose grammar schedule. Is I asked for the syllabus for the next class that I would have taken if I had continued to take Russian in college. And most professors and most departments are very, very happy to provide that. They love when students take stuff into their own hands, and you shouldn't have a problem getting a syllabus from a professor or the department. But I'll also use the textbook to review. And yeah, so I'll dedicate around 10 minutes to a specific grammar topic. Then the listening practice that I emphasized on YouTube, normally that'll take around 10 minutes. There are shorter videos. If that's the case, maybe I'll listen to 2, maybe a 10, 15-minute one, whatever. But again, the point is making sure I do that every single day, getting contact with the language, and listening practice with native, fluent speech. And then I like to finish off the instruction, like I said, by listening to music. Listen to it once with the lyrics in Russian, and then again with the translation. See how many mental connections I can make. Listen to the song a few times through. So yeah, and to end off, I will go back, review all of the things that I just did, take a look at my notebook, and review not only the words that I wrote on that particular day, but also the words that I've written in the past as well. So yeah, so there you have it. That's what I'm doing to learn the Russian language during quarantine and hopefully afterwards. The only thing that I would change is maybe find a real life person that I could talk to face to face. In Iowa, that's kind of difficult. But anyways, thank you all for watching. I'm going to make another video about how I'm learning German because I'm trying to kind of do these two languages around the same time. I'll explain more whenever I make that video. But for now, ciao, arrivederci, ma salama.